Good day and almost Happy New Year. The last time I spoke with you, I shared a little bit about how my husband and myself met. I am a speech language pathologist. My name is Michelle, and my husband Corey is an autistic man. And today I thought I'd share a little bit about what it was that I found appealing about Corey when I very first met him. We met about 17 years ago. We've been together for 15. And the first time I met him was in a large group of people in a small space. We were in the cast of a play and we had gathered for rehearsal. And I noticed this devastatingly handsome man that kind of hung near the wall or in the corner. He didn't say much. And I thought, wonder what that's all about. He would just seem very mysterious to me. He had on a dark colored t-shirt and blue jeans and black boots and a cap, baseball type style cap. Little did I realize at the time, and came to find out later, that that was basically his uniform. He tended to wear a dark or a black t-shirt, blue jeans, belt. He likes belt buckles, so he would vary the belt buckle, dark shoes, and a cap. And he's branched out some at this point, 17 years later, but at that point, that was what he was always wearing. And we didn't get much of a chance to talk for a while. Once we did start talking and started dating, what I noticed was his willingness to talk. I tend to be a fairly quiet person, especially when you first meet me, and especially in groups of people. I also have my own social issues, and he took all of the pressure off of me. He loved to talk. And I loved that about him and loved that he liked to talk to me. At the time, I didn't necessarily realize that him liking to talk to just about anybody who would listen was not uncommon, but I thought that was pretty cool. He was also a really good listener. He listened to everything I said very intently. Now, sometimes it could be hard if you know an autistic adult who is hyperverbal, sometimes it can be hard to get a word in edgewise. And that's something that we've had to tackle over the years. But when I did get a chance to talk, he listened very intently, followed up, really processed what I had to say, and valued it. So that was pretty darn cool. And I wasn't used to that. And he liked to talk about deep things. He really didn't care to talk about the humdrum of life. He liked to talk about intellectual things, politics, religion, all that stuff that people tend to shy away from. He really likes to talk about. And I didn't grow up in a home that talked about things of importance. And I found that really appealing and a huge draw for Corey. The other thing that I found really attractive for me was, again, I tend to be a fairly quiet person. And at the time was pretty guarded. I tended to be fairly untrusting. It takes a while to earn my trust. Um, I'm better now, but at the time, that was a real struggle for me. And his ability to read me without talking was unparalleled. I had never had somebody who could look at me and know based on the way I was sitting, the way I moved my hand, the way I tilted my head, had a pretty good feeling for what was going on inside my head and my heart. I'd never had somebody pay that close of attention to that, to see it and say, hey, what's the problem? What's going on? I'm not saying he was always good at figuring out what the problem was or even really understanding it when I would tell him until I could connect it to him in a meaningful way. But boy, he recognized it immediately and was so responsive just to my nonverbal cues. I think that the thing that most attracted me to Corey early on, I don't know if you know a lot of autistic adults. Corey, I have never been Corey's first love. I will never be his first love and first priority. For a lot of women, that would probably be a problem. Corey's first love is physics. There was a brief period of time early on when we were first getting to know one another. And I say brief, it was longer than brief, but honeymoon phases pass, and that's okay and to be expected. But when you are a significant other's special interest, if that person is autistic, that is a feeling that you never forget. I am not Corey's first love. Physics is Corey's first love. But early on in our relationship, for a period of time, I was very clearly his special interest. And that's a great feeling. Like I said, you don't forget it. And when things are tough for us, I go back to that feeling. And I still have that feeling. I still experience that on a regular basis. Don't get me wrong. It's not as weighty and ever present as it was initially. Um, but it's a pretty cool feeling. And I would say those are the things that initially attracted me to Corey. Devastatingly handsome, mysterious, smart as all get out, loved to talk to me, loved to listen to me, was really good at detecting the things that I was yet unable to say that I was struggling with in my life just by watching my nonverbal cues and my body language. And that initial electric jolt of being the special interest of an autistic person for any period of time is thrilling. Happy New Year.